as we get started today, you could have a small ball if you'd like to use that. It's not mandatory. You can absolutely do every move without it, but I do suggest having something that you could hold just to give you that little extra feedback, and so that you kind of, could be a yoga block even, or rolled up towel. Okay, so we'll go ahead and start here by rolling all the way back on the mat. Have an item nearby if you're using it as you roll on back. So just let your shoulders relax back. Your feet are on the floor. We'll start with just a few deep rounds of breath. So take your hands right around the rib cage and feel yourself breathing deeply into the side waist. So I want you to feel your ribs not just lifting upward. I want them to lift out. So out and behind you. So inhale here. So you feel the ribs moving outward and even pressing down toward the mat. And then exhale as you kind of cinch in toward the center of the waist, blowing out like an SH sound or a soft hissing sound. Inhale, relaxing the shoulders. Okay, 2 more just like that, nice and slow. And 1 more. All right, so then taking your hands down by the sides, you're going to keep that same connection. So without your hands being that feedback that we had, I want you to just have your hands resting by your sides. Take that same deep breath. And now exhale. Without holding your breath, try to hold the action that you've created now. So you feel this little bit of tightness that's around the waist, but you can still breathe within it. So take another breath without releasing all that action of your rib cage. So it's going to not feel quite as big, but you're going to take a breath in inside of that action. Okay, now exhale, blow it out. Once again, take that breath in. Don't release all the way. You still feel some tension here. And exhale. Okay, 1 more. So this is the same breath that you use while you're working. So while we're working and those muscles are trying to lengthen and contract at the same time, it's the same action here. We're just not moving our body. We're stabilizing and we're contracting and we're breathing within the contraction. So I want you to now bring the right leg up and then the left leg up. Find that little tabletop position. You still have the action. We're not letting it go. Okay, so just starting to float your left leg toward the floor. So just keep the knee bent and slowly hinge from the hip, dropping toe to floor and bring it back up. Okay, inhale, right side. Inhale, bring it down. Exhale, bring it up. So same action. You want to feel the middle of your back pressing to the mat. You may feel a slight lightness behind your low back, behind about where your belly button is. A small little lightness right there behind your back, but it's not going to get greater. You're just going to keep it the same. Okay, so hips not moving. Inhale, we're alternating. Exhale, back to center. Inhale. Relax the shoulders. Exhale. Inhale down. Feel that kind of grip, a little bit of grip. We don't want to grip and pull it down too hard, but we're going to keep it engaged. All right, so keeping the ribs in and closed, and we'll do that 2 more times. You can even take your hands around the rib cage again just to make sure that you feel that action. And you can take the hands to the hips or maybe one on both and make sure that your hips aren't rocking. Okay, 1 more each side. Inhale, exhale, and 1 more right side. And back to center. All right, give it just a small break as you draw your knees into chest, hug it down, stretching and rocking side to side. Okay, back to center here. Go ahead, keep both knees level again with the shins. We're going to take that ball block or maybe rolled up towel, whatever you might have. We're going to just squeeze it. So remember, if you have a ball, you don't want it too inflated. We want to be able to pinch it right here. Okay, so we want it a little slack. We're going to squeeze the ball, bringing the arms down by the sides. Inhale, starting to float both feet toward the mat. It's okay if they don't touch. Just go as low as you can, keeping the ribs engaged, pulled down, cinching in the waist, and then exhale up. So you can always place your hands right around your rib cage and maybe one toward your hips or pelvis, just to make sure there's no movement here. Stabilization, that's really the main function of our core. Inhale. Exhale. It does so many things. It rotates, it side bends, it flexes, and it extends. But the main function throughout our daily movement is really about stabilization. Okay, so inhale, squeeze that ball a little bit, lower down, just tap, exhale, back up. If you're starting to feel strain in your low back, try to take your awareness there, relax that space, and focus on the deep muscles that you're contracting. 3 more here. Inhale. Exhale. 2. Down. Good. And up. With that exhale, that nice big exhale, you're going to really engage and lift the pelvic floor just naturally with the exhale. Now pause here. We'll take that ball, block, or whatever you have. We'll take that item here, and we're going to take it just in the right hand as your left leg reaches out. So we're going to stretch that left leg out. We're going to inhale, take right arm overhead, bring the left toe to the floor or straighten it out, and we'll progress from here. So now I'm just staying with that bent knee. Okay, same side. Inhale, exhale. You can take that left leg and start to slide it toward the end of the mat, and then bring it up. That's just taking it a little step further. Inhale, reach. Exhale, up. So if that's a little too much load for you right now, go ahead and keep that knee bent and just go back to the first move. Okay, here we go. Last 4. Inhale. Exhale. 3. 2. Should be feeling pretty warm. Core heating up. And 1. Take a little break. Place the ball between the knees again. Arms come out a little further out by the sides, like a letter T. Just gentle out to the sides. We're going to rock over to the left, squeeze the ball, pause, and come back to center, over to the right. And then back to center. Continue to use your breath here. Try to keep your knees pulled up slightly towards your chest. Inhale. Exhale. If your heels are too slack, meaning they're down by your hips, this may draw your knees away from your chest, kind of weighting them away. So I want you to just lift them up a little bit, and that will take a little more load into your core. So just kind of adjust that by how far you're twisting. Let's take 2 more. Inhale. Shoulders are staying relaxed and down and pressing to the mat as much as you can. 1 more each side. Inhale over, pause. Exhale back to center. 1 last time to the other side. And then back to center. All right, so we're still in tabletop. If you need a break, feel free to take a little full body stretch. Those hip flexors might be kind of screaming at you. It's all right. We'll just stretch it out a little bit, shake out those feet, and then we'll bring it back up. So over time, hopefully we don't feel those hip flexors as much. They are working. We're hinged. We're working. But the core, that's the connection with hip flexor and core. All right? Core engaged takes load off your hip flexors. So we're going to start here with the ball in the left hand, right arm down by your side. And we're going to start to just float again, the right toe to the floor, left arm overhead. Bring it back. Find the engagement first. Keep the engagement. Inhale within that space. Exhale. Once again, over time, you start to feel anything in your low back, you may be kind of contracting and tightening in your low back. So I want you to relax that space and then engage deeper by pulling the ribs in a little bit. Feel like you could kind of connect your hip points from side to side and your pubic bone to your sternum. Inhale. Exhale. Now we've got just 4 more. So if you want to take that leg and push it out, lengthen. Exhale back up. 3. Our intention is to be able to take these movements without any change in your hips or your ribs. So everything's staying connected. Last one. Bring the ball back to the inner thighs. Squeeze it here. Arms out. We'll start that rotation again, and then your next option is to straighten out one leg at a time, and that could be the leg that you're turning, the side you're turning towards. So if you go right, go with your left leg straight, and then come back to center, and then alternate right to left, and then left to right. If that still is a little much, go back to the bent knee variation. This is just, again, going to add a little more lever, adding more load. Make sure your shoulders are relaxed. Jaw is unhinged. If you start to find that you're pushing your tongue against the top of your mouth and you're clenching your jaw, go ahead and just release that. Take a nice breath in. Exhale out. Last 4 total. 3, nice and smooth. See if you can start to get this action pretty smooth without much stopping in the middle. Just rotating. And then back to center. Holding it here. Now go ahead right there. We're going to take the ball, squeeze the knees together, and then now if you had 2 balls or you have a block ball combination or whatever you have around, you can still squeeze something here as well. Okay, but for now I'd like to have a little bit of action in the upper body. So I'm going to just keep those legs at tabletop. We're going to inhale and take the arms overhead, reaching, but you're going to keep the ribs down. So here's where it gets a little more challenging. When both arms go overhead, I want you to keep your middle back pressed to the mat and then take the arms back over. Okay, so inhale, reach. Exhale. Try to pull the ribs down a bit. Breathe within the action. We can take one leg. Let's take left leg. Tap it to the floor. Right leg. Tapping the foot to the floor. Back up. So at that point when your leg comes down, there's going to be a tendency to want to arch your back. Okay, so to really keep everything down, let your shoulders relax. Even though you're using your shoulders, you're relaxing them away from your ears. Okay, so inhale, take that breath in, exhale, check back in, reset when you need to, take a break when you need to. We can start to take a leg out and reach. So take the level that's right for you. Last 4, 3, 2, and 1 more. Bring it back to center again. Place the ball or block, whatever you've got there, in between the thighs. Arms go out again. Now continuing, first, second, or now third level for your twist. Third level is legs straight, and you can do it with or without the ball. Okay, so squeezing inner thighs together or squeezing an object here. And then come back. Inhale. Every option I'm giving you is just that. It's just an option that you get to choose, deciding on how it feels for your body and what level you're at today. So if you're wanting to progress, you have those options, and maybe you just do a few of the upper level, and then you move back down a little, just listening to your body. The last 4, 3, make sure you're squeezing those inner thighs a little. That's the root of our core. We're really got that center line all the way up from our feet. And 1. And back to center. Okay, so we're going to try both legs. So again, you could squeeze something and hold something, or just one or the other. We're going to try both legs with the arms going overhead. Starting with a little tabletop. Engage first. Pull the ribs in. Take a breath to prepare. Exhale it out. Feel the action with your spine toward the mat. And now start to breathe in as you lower arms and legs. Exhale, bring it up. Inhale. Try to squeeze your knees together or into an object if you prefer. Inhale, reach. Exhale. You want to feel the pressure on your sacrum, staying pretty consistent. So in that low back space where you feel the pressure on the hard bone, you want to feel that pretty consistent throughout the movement. So there's not a rocking toward the tail or towards your low back. Okay, so again, you can continue, go back to those single legs if that's where you need to be. We can take this one step further and take the legs all the way out and then bring them back in. Let's try that again. Reach it out and bring it back in. It's okay if they're not as low as my legs. They can go a little higher. They can just reach right there and back in. Just check it out. Do what's right for you. 4 more. 3. 2. Last 1. And then back to center. All right, let's take one more round of rotating. I'm going to keep the ball over to the side this time, but you can always squeeze the ball again. So check it out. Inhale, rotate. One or both legs could be straight or both knees bent. We'll do 8 total. Over. 6. 5. So the more load that you have there, be mindful, be careful. Really connect the movement and the breath. Maybe just one more each side. And then back to center. Let's bring the feet down and rest for just a moment here. So arms down by your side, starting with little bridges, feet separated, toes spread. Connect from big toe to little toe and all the way to the center of your heel. Starting to lift the hips up. You still have that connection between ribs and hips. And pull it back down. Inhale, lifting. And exhale. Gentle lift up. Your tail is long, not quite a tuck. We're just making sure that it's not dropping and you're overarching in your low back. So we're just lifting up as a unit, lowering down as a unit. Last 3. 2. And then last 1. As you come up, just take a little pause. Hold it here. Now shifting weight into your right foot. And then just lifting and lowering your left leg. Bring it up and tap it down. Press into your right heel, right big toe. Inhale. You're still connecting here. We're not overarching. You feel the ribs pull down. The hip points stay stable. Lots of energy in that right leg. Last 2. Last 1. And then place the left foot on the floor and we'll switch. Bringing right leg up and lowering it down. Lots of energy in that left foot from big toe, little toe, all the way across the bridge. And then into your center of your heel. And then feel like you're kind of pushing your knee towards your toes a little. That's going to activate the back of your leg. Getting into your glutes a little more. Make sure that tail stays nice and long, meaning it feels like you're kind of dialing your hips up a little. Not a big tuck, just neutral. Here we go. 4, 3, breathing, 2, and 1. Now bring it down. Rest the hips all the way to the mat. Knees sway side to side. we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to challenge our balance a little. So if you only have a block or something, that's fine. If you have a rolled up towel, that may even be less wobbly. So like a rolled up hand towel, something like that would work. If you have nothing, just go back to where you were. We're going to place the ball under the right foot. This is going to be a lot of fun. Okay, so we're going to place that ball under the right foot. We're going to lift the hips again. Okay, so again, if it's a block, you're just going to be more stable. It'll just be elevated. So it'll be an uneven bridge lift. So find the spot that you can just kind of roll it around a little bit. Get it just right under your right foot. So it's going to be mostly just right in the center. So I want you to find that center point of your foot kind of in the arch there. See? All right. So inhale, lift up again, and lower down. So yes, we're a little uneven. We're going to try to keep the hips really level though. We're lifting up. We really feel that right glute and hamstring firing off. This may or may not be something that's going to be even more accessible to you, but we're going to find out. Okay, so you, again, do what you can. Don't worry about the rest. So we're going to hold it up, hold, and then we're just going to see if we can balance for a moment. I want you to push into that right foot. Feel like you're pulling it back to you a little bit. Put all your weight into it, and it's okay. Don't worry if you don't lift the whole foot off the floor. Lift your left heel, lift your left foot, and then drop it down. That's a lot. Let's try it again. We're just going to lift the left heel, see if you can pop the toes off, and bring it down. It's okay if it doesn't go far. Now, if you're on something that's more stable, this may not be quite as challenging, but definitely still challenging. It's just going to feel a little different. This uneven surface is really challenging. Okay, so if you need to switch or swap it, take it back to a block. Okay. Let's go one more. Lift the heel, lift the toes, and take it down and release. My hamstrings are on fire. Okay. Bring that right leg up, rotate the ankle a few times. Sometimes too, it depends on what you've done in the past couple of days and how your muscles are already firing or if they're already sore. So just be mindful of all those things. Okay, let's switch it to the other side. So again, block. If you're just starting and you're just kind of wanting to explore this kind of movement, take a block, something that's more steady, more stable. That's fine. Okay, or a rolled up towel, rolled up hand towel you would place right under the arch of the foot. So it's still going to give you that little uneven surface. It's just not going to be so squishy and wobbly. Okay, or even, one last option. Let's go ahead and lift and I'll tell you. Bring it down. You can take a foam roller. A foam roller would be a good option for this too. It's steady, it's more solid, but it's going to be that, it's going to have that little rolling action. So it's still going to give you that unstable surface. Okay, so you could take a couple of different variations of this. Just do what's right for you. And we'll take this one more time into this with both feet on the floor. Lifting the hips. Take a pause. Now I want you to just try to pull your right foot. Kind of wiggle it back a little. Lift your right heel. Put all your weight down on your left foot first. Lift the right foot and drop it down. If you got a cramp, take a break. Massage it out. Here we go again. Lift the hips, pause, push down in the right foot first. Lift the left foot, lift the right foot and bring it down. All right, we're going to try it 2 more times. You're going to lift the hips, push down into the left, shift your weight, lift the right heel, pop off the right toes and bring it down. Whew. Okay, one more. We lift up, hold. Push down, float the right heel, then maybe as far as you go. Float the right toes, bring it down, and rest. Very good. Take that ball, throw it across the room. Okay, bring the knees in. Take the right leg up, and just keep the left foot on the floor. We're just going to give that the right leg up, left foot on the floor. So we're going to give that right leg a nice little stretch, bring it in. When you're ready, you can just kind of bring your elbows out. Hold on to the leg wherever it's accessible. Okay? Start to float your shoulders off the mat. Bring the leg in. Give it a nice stretch. Lower your head and shoulders back down. Straighten your left leg out. We're going to switch sides, so bringing the right foot to the floor. Left knee comes in, give it a hug. Take the left leg up. Whew, unfolding that. All right, just unpack all of that stuff we just did. When you're ready, pull in through the core, lift the head, bring the shin or knee or whatever you got there closer to you. Deep breath in, exhale, lower the head down, shoot your right foot down the mat. Keep your left leg where it is. We're in the perfect position here to do single straight legs. So as you lift your shoulders up, float your right leg up and then swap. So just stretching one at a time. Floating, getting a little extra core work. We're going for 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good job. Bring both legs in. Let's take both legs down. They can be knees bent, just like you did before, or straight legs, shoulders down or up, and take them down. Inhale, exhale up. Inhale, make sure you've got everything pulled in. So you've got that contraction, not a sucking of the belly button, but it's just that nice contraction holding you here, that you're breathing within. Lower down, exhale up. Last 3. You could always do this with bent knees and even something between the knees to squeeze. 2, and 1. Rest here. Go ahead and bring the feet down, stretch it out, full body. Reach it out, shake out the ankles, wiggle them around a little bit. Bring the feet back to the mat. Just gonna roll over to one side. We're gonna do a little side bodies. We did front and back body, all lying down on our back, but we did work the back body, as you could tell. Okay, so let's just do a little bit more side body. Make sure this feels okay for your shoulder. You could always elevate yourself, so if it's a little too much pressure on the mat, by elevating your elbow up onto a higher surface, it's going to take some of that pressure off your shoulder. Okay, but do make sure that it's not tucked under you and that you are pretty even here. Okay, so I'm going to keep the knees bent and the feet can just be kind of in line with the hips back here. So just casually resting. Inhale, start to kind of pull that bottom rib cage up and level out. So we've got that connection before the lift. Now take another breath within the action and just lift the hips and lower down. Good. Inhale, lift. Keep that shoulder pulled back. Make sure you're not relying on your shoulder to push you up, and lift and lower down. Good. Let's do it a couple more times. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. Adding an arm if you like. Sweep up. Lower down. Make sure you play with the positioning of your hand. Everybody's shoulder's a little different. So maybe back toward you is a little better for you, or maybe away from you or toward the corner it works better for you. So it depends on how your shoulder feels and how it's kind of sitting in that socket. Okay, let's go. 2 more. Up. And bring it down. 1 more. Up. And bring it down. Good. Switch to the other side. Just kind of lift yourself up. Roll to the other side. Same thing here. Adjust how you feel with your arm as you start to move shoulder and elbow in nice alignment so that when you lift up, so if you start too close to this position and you shift yourself that way, I don't want that elbow or shoulder over past your elbow. So start with it kind of stacked or slightly off center. And then we're going to lift up. You can add the arm or not. And bring it down. Really pull into the shoulder blade and lift so that you're anchoring a bit there. Bring it down. Inhale. Lift up. Exhale down. Let's try 4 more. Lift and reach. And down. One side may seem a little easier or a little less challenging, or maybe even just feels better on your shoulder. Just take those notes into consideration so that you'll know from side to side that you have some imbalances and things that maybe can be worked on or just noted to explore. Okay. The last one, and bring it down. And from right here, just press yourself up to seated And you can stack your legs just like this. Okay, so one leg can rest right on top of the arch of the foot, or a little bit more intense to bring that leg back. If none of those work, straighten out the right leg. Okay, so if you're mirroring me, the leg that's bent back, sweep the arm up and reach. And bring it down over to the other side. Yes, we made it to mermaid. Give it a little stretch and a twist. Inhale up. Exhale over. And then last one. Take it over and reach. As you come up, bring that hand back. So I want you to twist toward the leg that's bent back. Twisting and dropping the hip down. So if you're noticing that hip kind of lifting way up, see if you can drop it down. If it bothers the knee, straighten out the knee. Just rotate. Come back around, and we'll swing the legs to the other side. Once again, you can start with them just barely staggered, just kind of gentle, or something a little bit more wide. Inhale, drop the hip down, reach, and come up, inhale. Exhale over, give it a twist. Inhale, lifting. Exhale over. Inhale. Take it over. We're going to come up into that twist. So bringing your left hand back, or the hand that's to the outside of the bent knee, and then rotate. Again, try to see if you can do that without hiking up that hip. So drop it down and rotate. And come back to center. Let's meet here. Take the feet together. Just do a very gentle forward bend in that nice little butterfly or bound angle. Come back up. Finding seated together. We'll sweep the arms up. Big deep breath in. Bring the hands down. Give yourself a little bow for being a Pilates rock star today. Awesome work.